What is going on, all you beautiful and wonderful aviators? RandomEd787 here. I know I'm a little bit late on this, but the past 2 days I've had to move. I mentioned it in a previous video that I was moving to a different apartment. I'm in the same unit, just had to move to another room. So that's all done. I'm also then good to go. And for today, I thought we'd take a little ride in the Beaver here and fly around Pompano Beach, Florida. So, yes, I am a little bit late on this, and that's the A2A Piper Comanche. Now, a little background history with me. I absolutely love A2A's products. In my opinion, nobody even comes remotely, and I mean remotely close to the quality of A2A when it comes to general aviation. They're literally a step above everybody else. And from what I've seen with the Piper Comanche, they're still keeping up with their quality standard. It has not diminished whatsoever. I mean, I will say, is it anything like revolutionary? I wouldn't go so far as to say that. Where I think we're going to start seeing the differences is basically how the airplane flies. I think that's where the thing's going to have a big jump. But there's still some small details in there, like starting the airplane, how it is in a cold engine, the walk-arounds, just the sounds of the airplane. It's all completely flawless. So for this video, I just thought I'd go through basically some of the highlights of the video. They actually talk about the airplane. They basically, do the highlights and, the walk around, all that stuff. So we're starting off here with how the engine starts. And it starts differently every time, and there's so many things you got to keep an eye on. Now, granted, this was the case for other aircraft in the past, like for FSX. This isn't anything new, but I'm not knocking on A2A for that. I'm just happy that they still have that same high quality standard with all their airplanes. I mean, that's what I love about them. You got to actually take care of these things. If you get reckless with them, or if you just want to take these planes to go up for a little spin and just goof around, these aren't really the planes for you. This is for people like me, the hardcore simmer who wants the most realism possible. And they're still delivering with that. So you'll see in this video right here, I'll go ahead and play it up for you a little bit, but you'll see how each engine start sounds different.
Let me demonstrate why we simulate all these internal components of the engine. Let me show you an engine start. Each cylinder is sending pulses to this airframe. It's like having 6 big rubber mallets just pounding your airframe. Let me demonstrate 3 engine starts back to back. Same aircraft, same conditions. It took a little longer to start. Started right up. That was the longest out of all of them.
So as you can see, each time it takes a little bit longer to start up than there, or sometimes it starts up right away. It depends on the condition of the engine, what it's like outside. And speaking of outside, watch what happens when he tries to start this plane on a cold day. This, I don't know if this was the case in previous aircraft. It might have been, but the detail is still mind-blowing. Just check this out.
Now this is a cold-soaked engine. We just gave it 9 shots of primer, and I pulled up our engine analyzer that allows you to look inside the engine. Since the engine is so cold, I'm just going to crank it over a few times with the mags off to get the oil circulating. I just want to demonstrate how the cold affects how this engine runs. Here we go. Crack the throttle. That's a very cold engine. And look at the oil pressure. It's just coming up now. You can actually hear and feel that engine warming up. As it warms up, the RPM will increase. Oh, look how high that oil pressure is at a relatively low RPM. It's because the oil is just so thick. The pump is really working hard to move the oil. Now, we do have a weak cylinder. Just listen carefully. If you're ever in doubt, a good way to test your aircraft engine is bring the idle way down. You can see and hear that cylinder misfiring. You see, that almost stalled. But this is what you go through when you fly an airplane. You pay attention to these little things because it's these little things that can become big things when you're flying in the air, especially when flying a single-engine combustion airplane.
So you can see that this airplane is really struggling to start. I mean, it almost actually sounds scary. Like, I would actually be kind of scared to start this thing. Now, that's what I love, the way it feels. What's also cool, and I want to mention, is that I know this is standard with a lot of planes these days in Flight Simulator, but now you get a tablet and everything. But what's even cooler, you can check on the condition of the engine just by looking at the cylinders from the tablet. Now, would I do that? Probably not, unless you could do that in real life, but it's still a cool little feature. And just how he idles it too, and you could tell that the plane is just about ready to stall. You could tell that there's a cylinder that's not right. I'm telling you, it's just, I am going to be flying this plane probably nonstop. This is going to probably be the only plane I ever fly in general aviation and Flight Simulator. Just the detail, the sounds, the things you got to listen for. I just, it's just beautiful. I love it so much. Now, this part right here, the walk around, this is actually a bit of a step up in a few ways. I mean, some of it a little bit subtle, but one key thing that caught my eye was when you're trying to get a fuel sample. Look at this. You can see that there's actually water in that little tube. Now, unless you've probably taken flying lessons or you already know this, water in your fuel tank is a very bad thing and you do not want it. But this is how you check for water. You just go and take a fuel sample, and I love that you can actually see water in there. I remember when I used to take flying lessons as a teenager, I checked for water all the time. Never had it happen to me, but that's the thing you got to look out for in aviation. And then you could just dump the thing again and take the fuel sample, because with previous A2A aircraft, it was just a little picture, never really changed, didn't really mean anything. The walk around didn't really mean anything in the previous one to an extent. I mean, sometimes you could see things that weren't quite right, but a lot of the times it just kind of felt the same. I feel like this is going to be a little bit different, and you can actually move all the controls freely just by clicking and dragging on them, which that I also really love, instead of just, moving your yoke and everything. I think it's cool. It gets you up more close and personal with the airplane. Also here, check out with the oil stick. You got to actually make sure that the oil itself looks good. Now, I think I did see that previous planes did have this too, but again, like I said, it's just that detail that I love to see in A2A planes. I mean, you can only, go so much further and make so many leaps and everything like that. I know some people will probably be thinking like that I'm just saying, oh, this looks like the same as any other plane. Guys, that's not what I'm saying. I'm still probably going to be buying this plane day one, okay? I'm probably going to be buying it. I just love the detail and the fact that they actually have a tutorial to tell you what the different colors of those engines, of those on the oil stick means. I think that's awesome, and I just can't wait to learn more about it. I just feel like I'm going to learn more about not just the Piper Comanche, but more about aviation in general with this airplane. I'm just so excited for it. And also, in this clip right here, take a listen to this.
We'll jump to the tip tank. Tip tanks are awesome on so many levels. I'm going to add fuel here. I want you to listen very carefully. Just listen. Hear that? That's all the way up. Now I'm going to listen again. I'm going to take fuel out. I'm going to drain it. Hear that? Okay, that happens in the real Comanche. That's oil canning. That's basically the wing flexing a little bit, and some of the panels on the aircraft will oil can. They'll pop from one direction to another. That's normal. It's just part of flying with an aluminum-skinned airplane.
See, you hear that sound? They actually bothered to put that sound in there, that thump sound, for oil canning. I never even heard of oil canning. I never even knew it was a thing. But I'm telling you, it's just these small details that A2A puts in their planes that just blows my mind. This is why I say that nobody else even remotely comes close to them. I mean, that's not to say that the other guys suck or anything. I'm not saying that, but A2A just they just take it to the nth degree. It's just insane. Okay, and the last thing I want to check on with this video to go over, it's small, but again, it just shows you, again, how dedicated these guys are to their craft. Some people were actually thinking, he was mentioning in the video or something like that, how did you get those ground sounds when you're like going over bumps on the grass? Well, check this out.
Well, a Land Cruiser and a rope goes a long way in capturing awesome ground sounds.
Again, it just shows you how dedicated and how passionate these guys are about aviation and flight simulator. And honestly, it's just such a blessing to have guys like A2A. The only thing I'm bummed about is that we're gonna have to wait even longer for stuff like the Piper Cherokee, the Cessna 172, whatever else they're gonna, because I'm sure they're gonna bring more of their planes that they made in the past to Flight Simulator. And I know it's gonna take a long time, but you know what? The Piper Comanche, I think, is a perfect airplane for them to bring over, because I usually prefer Pipers over Cessnas, and I'm basically getting that. And I never flown the Comanche in Flight Simulator or in real life, so this is going to be totally new for me, and I cannot wait to fly this beautiful bird. So all I can say is A2A, thank you once again. I hope this is coming out this year, but still, I know they won't release it until it's ready. They will not release a broken product. I can pretty much say that for a fact. If they have to push it into 2024, that's perfectly fine. I would like it to have it this year, though, please. But still, I don't want to pressure you guys. I don't want to pressure you. Just, you know, I'm a little greedy. I want to fly this plane right now. So anyway, I want to hear from you guys, though. Most importantly, what do you think about this plane? Are you picking it up day one? And what's your favorite A2A airplane that you've flown? And tell me why. I love to hear it all in the comments below. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace out and happy flying.